Is the iPhone 17 Pro actually more Pro this year, or is this just another Pro version added into the lineup with minor upgrades? Well, in this video, I'll be going over the design, photo and video capabilities out in the real world with examples for you to watch, and overall usability coming from an older iPhone user. Yes, silver is the better color. Don't come for me in the comments. Let's get to it. Over the last several years, Apple has catered their Pro line heavily towards people who want to shoot higher quality photos and videos with their phone. And that's honestly, if you're in the market for a Pro, you're probably most interested in the cameras this year, as it is every year. And at this point, with all of Apple's base model phones becoming so capable, you are really only buying the Pro line for the camera, to be honest. However, I think the time has come when Apple isn't really holding out or gatekeeping any camera features on their Pro line anymore. In the previous models, you also really only got the best camera quality in the main kind of like 1x lens. But the ultra wide or telephoto quality always suffered a little bit. And we finally have the 48 megapixel fusion camera across all three lenses, the main, ultra wide, and the telephoto. They've even went the extra mile and upgraded the front facing camera this year, which everyone's been talking about. It's been upgraded to an 18 megapixel with a square sensor. In other words, you can essentially shoot vertical or landscape without having to, change the orientation of your phone or rotate it to get those selfies now with the front-facing camera, which is kind of a cool feature. To be honest, I don't really mind rotating my phone to take selfies, but I do understand the appeal, and it's a lot quicker now to get group shots when you're taking a selfie with the front-facing camera. Now, enough talking about the cameras. Let's go outside. So typically when I go out, I usually bring my FX3 with a lens, which obviously that's a great camera, but I wanted to put the 17 Pro to the test on this ferry ride because I feel like ferries just create so many great photo opportunities and video clip opportunities, especially when the sun is out like today. So let's see what this camera can do and its versatility.
Welcome aboard the Washington State Ferries. The following message is an important safety announcement.
I think one of the really cool things about having like an iPhone 17 Pro is the versatility in the lenses. Like you essentially have a 13 to 100 millimeter lens in your pocket at all times. Like right now, this frame is so tight, like there's not that much space here, but because I have the 0.5 ultra wide or 13 millimeters essentially, I'm gonna be able to get a pretty cool looking shot here. I'm just gonna take some photos. I don't know why I love this photo of this chair. It's crazy what a little sunlight can do, man. Bruh. Seagull shot. Seagull shot. Oh, snap. That was a terrible shot. I also wanted to test shooting in the 48 megapixel HEIC format versus shooting in the Apple RAW and see if it really makes that big of a difference when editing in Lightroom. I think for me, when I had the previous iPhones, one of the biggest gripes was I always wanted to use the 1x or the main lens because that was where you get the best image quality. And you still get the best image quality with the main 1x lens. But now that the 0.5 ultra wide and the 4x telephoto all have 48 megapixel fusion cameras, they're greatly improved. And so now I don't feel as locked into the main lens. I can get really great images even with the wide or the telephoto. And that's a pretty freeing feeling from the previous iPhones that I've had. Aside from the photos, I wanted to test the video quality. I primarily shoot more videos, so this was something pretty exciting for me when this new one came out. More specifically, I wanted to test how the video quality looks without rigging the camera with a bunch of accessories. So we have this boat going by at 1x. We're gonna drop it in at 8x. Let's go 4x. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's really windy. It's really windy, sorry guys. The design is different this year. While the 3-back cameras are still in the same orientation, this is the first time they've drastically switched the back since the iPhone 11. Now, this new camera plateau is supposed to allow room for more internal components and help with the heat or reducing the chance of overheating. But in my test, I noticed that the phone still gets pretty warm when using the camera or any kind of app for long periods, but more on that later. Overall, I don't mind this little bump that they've added, and it kind of levels out the phone a bit better from a design perspective. And now the phone has this single aluminum unibody. I can't say I hate it, I don't really love it either. I do think out of all the colors, the silver is probably still the best. When it came to everyday usage, the 17 Pro is a great daily. It really has everything you need and then some. Knowing that you have essentially a professional camera in your pocket at all times is a pretty cool feeling. One thing that I noticed though was the heat actually. Now this isn't really a scientific test, and I'm sure there's other videos on YouTube that kind of go over the exact heat temperature and all that of the phone. But I just noticed that when I had the phone open for extended periods and was using the camera for photos and videos, the phone still got pretty warm, especially in this upper area. I'm not sure, they've done all the vapor chamber stuff to kind of dissipate the heat, but I don't know, for me personally, it still got pretty warm. Maybe not as warm as the previous phones, maybe that's what they were going for, but I can't say that it feels cool to the touch when I'm still, using for photo and video. As far as the size of the screen goes, I much prefer the regular Pro over the Pro Max size. Now, I don't know about everyone else, but the Pro Max just feels way too big in my hand. It honestly just feels like a mini tablet. I kind of have to use it with 2 hands, especially if you're the type of person to use your phone with 1 hand a lot. This just feels massive. It's super annoying when I can't use my phone with 1 hand, and the Pro regular size allows me to use it with 1 hand with a lot of ease. Battery life was great, and I didn't find myself needing to charge even after a full day of moderate usage. However, when I was using the camera for several hours on a shoot, I found the phone dying much quicker, but honestly, that's not a surprise. I needed to charge it back up to like 50% to get through the day, but that seems pretty standard. So, is the iPhone 17 Pro actually worth the upgrade? Honestly, my true feelings are that you should really only upgrade if you care about leveling up your photo and video quality. The 48 megapixel ultra wide and telephoto in the smaller size is a really great addition for content creators, photographers, and even videographers looking to use their phone more. However, if you aren't using your camera a ton, or if you're one of those people that only really use your iPhone to document a few life moments that you don't want to miss, you honestly might be better off saving your money and even consider looking into something like a non-Pro model, like the regular iPhone 17 or the new Air, even though I feel like the price point of the Air is so close to the Pro that you might as well get the Pro, but that's just another topic. I will say this though, this year finally felt special for Apple. The Pro finally looks different for the first time in several years, and all the 3 cameras on the back are on a level playing field now. Apple even launched the iPhone Air, which I think is one of Apple's best designs in the last decade. I also did a review video on the Air if you want to go check that out on my channel. I'll link it down below or somewhere up here. But thanks so much for watching this iPhone 17 Pro review, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.